the NBA. So we've been seeing some super high scoring in the NBA as of late. Joel Embiid had a 70-point game. Luka had a 73-point game. Karl Anthony Towns, Devin Booker both had 62-point games. So Reed, why are we seeing such high scoring games? You think one of these games will ever get to 200 points?
I've said it. I said it before with a lot of it, and it's not just me picking on Embiid right now, but it's mainly I think that the league calls too many fouls. I think a lot of it has to do with run up scores on fouls. Like I think Embiid took 23 that I saw. Luka took 15 or 16, and then Devin Booker took 18. Like these guys are shooting. I mean, they're getting most of half their points from these free throws. So it's a little crazy. I think a game could reach. I think a team could reach 200 if you get into like an overtime potentially. I think there's a possibility. I think it'd have to be a somehow like a Pistons versus like a Celtics, and the Pistons hang around for 120, 130 points, and then they go into an OT, and the Celtics go on runs. But I think that's more realistic. Not enough time in a game to get 100. So, I mean, it's possible. The way that games are ran now, the reffing is at an all-time bad this year. From what I've watched minimal games because it's been so bad. So, I think the game could reach 200. I think it needs extra time. I know I saw Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce yelling at each other about this. And Paul Pierce said you need extra time. I kind of agree with that. I don't think that a team. I don't think there's enough time in a game to reach 200 points. It's even 100 for a player. There needs to be extra time for sure.
It's crazy that we're talking about this. I think it's just the way the league wants the game to be played now. If you look back on it, was 20 years ago, guys were scoring 50, 40 points was crazy, but it's the way they want the pace to be up and down. They're like you said, they're calling a lot of fouls. A big thing was they changed the travel rule with the gather step, which is really honestly technically a travel. The step back three, that's a travel. If you're being realistic with the leagues letting it pass. James Harden is the one that's been getting away with it for a long time, and the league lets it slide. So innovative things like that.
Eurostep is kind of even lenient sometimes. I've seen guys take or fast break balls. There was what was it? OKC the other day. That dude took the ball at half court and took 5 steps. He ran from half court without taking a dribble and laid the ball, dunked the ball. It was crazy.
So the NBA's goal is to get. They're calling themselves a global game now, so they want people from all over the world to watch their game. So when you go, a lot of people honestly like not including us because we're sports fanatics, so we'll watch a full game. A lot of people don't have the attention span to sit there and watch a full game. All they do is want to watch the highlights. So they want to see threes, they want to see dunks, they want to see fast break, anything. They want to see high scoring games. They don't want to see a 100-94 ball game. But that's just taking the essence out of a good basketball game, and it's just not good for the sport, I think, a little bit. And in my opinion, I will say this last thing is that I think the biggest problem too is like you talked about the officiating. It's not consistent. So the way they call the game in the playoffs is different. And I heard Michael Porter Jr. say the difference is the playoffs. You play the team over and over again. Yeah, that may be true. But you think about it, they let them play a little more physical. So you're changing the type of style you're letting teams play. And so when you get in the playoffs, you got to change your mentality and how you're playing, because these teams getting all these calls in regular season, they get in the playoffs and realize, the ref's not going to call a little petty hand check when there's 30 seconds left and it's a tie ball game in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. It's just not going to slide. So I don't know. The biggest thing, I don't know if in the NBA the refs, I don't think they're full time like they are. They're not in the NFL either. But that needs to be a thing. So it's going to keep happening. I believe that somebody's going to score 100 points one of these days, and there's going to be a team that scores 200 points in the next 2-3 years. Just my guess.